Hello and welcome to a new devlog video for Peasant Uprise. While I have read books about level design and followed a short online course, I cannot really call myself an expert when it comes to it. However, I do know some basics. Starting with documentation, I'm going through the process of writing down each level's intent, objectives and peasants, enemies and game mechanics introduced in each. I'm thinking a lot about pace and when is the right time to introduce features and help in contrast to when they're needed. The first level is tough because the player is eager to get started with the action. However, not understanding how the game works or what is the next logical step can be very frustrating. I decided to revisit the first level of Spellforce 3 as a test to see how the game was introduced to players. It is also a hybrid between RTS and RPG, and hence it has similarities to Peasant Uprise. You did jump right in the action and I like that, however at the end of the level you're moved forward a few years ahead and pretty much start again with nothing, and then the storyline was introduced further. While I enjoyed the fact that I was able to jump right into combat, I was also disappointed to have lost the little equipment and characters that I had collected. The first level did not introduce any complex game mechanics or cover the strategy portion of the game, so I did ended up with mixed feelings about this approach. I want everything that I do on the game to account for something. That's the part I don't like about RTS campaigns, that you end up having to build again and again your buildings almost from the start in every level, as if what you have worked till this point did not matter. In some cases it made sense, in others it doesn't. With all this research, knowledge and documentation in mind, it was time to do some wacky drawings to serve as a storyboard. To have that vision as to the flow in which the movement will happen and the logical position of each point of interest. It is important to avoid periods of just walking around with nothing to do. However, there needs to be some distance or pause of action between each interest point. As I tend to do with my games, Peasant Uprise is more complex than I had originally intended. Obviously, more depth and features is normally a good thing. However, explaining and presenting those features and UI can be rough. I'm going with a combination of markers that show the path and triggers that pop up menu relevant to that moment. First levels should be pretty straightforward when it comes to terrain, trying to really stick to what the goal of the level is and the pace and presentation needed to reach that goal. The levels have to have a good ratio of strategy, combat and exploration. A camp to gather resources and build facilities. There will be items and side quests hidden in some side paths to encourage exploration. And my goal is that there would be a good amount of troops in each level once the main story has kicked in. With the final storyboard, I can then move back to Unity and start painting those points of interest and lay out and sculpting the terrain accordingly. Textures, grass, trees, building props, troops and NPCs would come next. I do have to say that I have downplayed the time involved into building a level in my project expectations. The main reason is that once I have laid out a level, it has uncovered a small functionality that I don't currently have. For example, having a patrol path that stops at the leader's position and presents a quest, and then leaves the current level to eventually be removed from the game. And this is the main reason why I have jumped into level design before being fully ready, because it has helped me identify needs and also given me a reference on how long each level is going to take. With that said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next update.